Last month, my heart raced when I received a LinkedIn message. And it wasn't a threat or a dick pic. It was a message from a former colleague whom I haven't spoken to since 2018. Her tone felt condescending, cold, as if she was talking to some intern who did a mistake. And I'm a 36-year-old woman. I run my own business and I live across countries. But one LinkedIn message sent me right back to being that girl at the agency after university who wanted to be liked by everyone. Why? Why does this still have so much power over me? Because I cared too much. And honestly, so do you. So now before you make yourself small in such situations, before you shrink, I want to talk to you. Because I almost let them win last month. And I don't want that for you. Don't let them win. Those people who want you to stay the version of yourself that makes them comfortable. Don't you dare let them win. You've heard it before. Just stop caring what people think. Super helpful. Great advice. Right up with just be confident. Just be yourself. It doesn't work that way. I know that because I studied psychology and neuroscience and spent years as a career coach watching people try. Smart, ambitious, self-aware people like you who knew that they cared too much, but they just couldn't stop. Because caring isn't the problem. You should care. You just shouldn't be run by it. It's controlling your actions, your decisions, your whole personality. And that's what we are going to fix. So in this video, I'm going to show you where that wiring comes from, why your body reacts like your life depends on Karen from accounting liking you, and the shifts that actually change it for me. So that the next time someone tries to make you small, you go out even bigger. So why do you care this much? Because your brain is ancient. Because back then, when humans lived in tribes, rejection meant death. No tribe, no food, no protection, game over. So your nervous system built an alarm. When someone just slightly disapproves of you, stress hormones flood your body. Heart racing, stomach dropping, every cell screaming, fix this, fall in line now. And that alarm never got an update in human history. Your body cannot tell the difference between a predator on the savannah and a passive-aggressive LinkedIn message. To my body, that woman from my old agency is the predator. And that is why when you enter a room, you scan all the faces to know what people expect you to be. Or when your boss raises an eyebrow, your whole week at the office is ruined. Your brain thinks rejection equals death, but it doesn't. We know that. But try telling your body that. And before you say, but I just can't help it, you are not weak. That's the most important message of this video. You are not weak. You are just acting like it. Your brain is just running on an outdated software, and we want to fix that. But evolution doesn't explain why you care so much. Because some people seem fine, right? They post what they want, they say what they think, and they wear what they like. So what happened to you to care so much? Imagine you're 2 years old. You're sitting on the floor, playing with a red truck. You're pulling it apart, exploring it, totally in the zone. You're just happy. And then your father walks in. He takes the truck, he builds it back together and puts it up on the table. Now you have to stand up. Now you have to perform. Come on, look at the camera over there. Smile, show everyone your great toy. And you, 2 years old, you were just confused. You were so happy playing. But the message you learned in that moment is that their way is right. Your way is wrong. And I know because that 2-year-old was me. I need to find that video again. And my father, he wasn't cruel. He meant well. That's what makes it so hard. We weren't programmed by villains. We were programmed by people who didn't know it better, who were also programmed. When you were without adults, I'm sure you were wild and free. I remember when I was around 4 years old in Lithuania, I was the gang leader. When I played with my girlfriends, I told them to jump on the beds, to chase the ducks, let's climb over this fence. I didn't check with anyone if my ideas and thoughts and feelings were okay. And you had that too before someone told you to smile for the camera. Adults put a lid on that. I moved to Germany and became the quiet one, always watching. Who is doing what? How should I behave? I don't understand what's going on in that culture, so I must observe what way is right. That's the program running, and every time someone criticizes you, the one who is reacting is not the adult who is with me right now, but the 2-year-old child with the toy who learned that others know it better. So your brain is outdated, your parents unknowingly made you digestible, and society wants to shrink you even further. Great. So what? We just live like that forever? No, let me show you what I do before I spiral in those situations and go back into shrinking. When I feel that reaction, my heart, my stomach, this whole, oh, what did I do wrong? I have learned to ask myself one question. Is this about right now, or is it an old recording? Because most of the time it's the recording, that one message that sends you spiraling for hours, feeling as if you are still sitting in that classroom or in that office. And then I want you to catch it. Wait! Those people have zero power over your life. Nothing bad is happening to you right now. This isn't 2018 Marty after university who tries to be a good employee. This is 2026 Marty running her own business and living in Vietnam right now. You could just delete that message, block that person, and nothing would happen. Nothing. Most people throughout their whole life repeat wounds from their past and let their brain run free with anxiety and shame. But that pause, that tiny gap between the trigger and the response, that is where your power lies. Not in not caring at all, but in catching yourself before you spiral. Now, the next thing is something I wish someone told me 10 or 20 years ago. The actual physical emotion lasts only 90 seconds. That's it. That is the chemical reaction moving through your body. And everything after that, the overthinking, the arguments in your head, the decision to shrink yourself, that's not an emotion, but that's a story that you keep telling yourself. And your brain reacts to that replay the exact same way it reacted to the real thing. More stress hormones, more shame, more anxiety, more anger. You're essentially re-triggering yourself. It's like your smoke alarm went off because you burned your toast. But instead of opening the window, you're making more toast. You have to learn to open the window. And I'll be honest, my technique isn't psychological or fancy, but it's like training a dog. I say out loud, stop it, Marty. Aus, no. Because feelings and thoughts don't require you to do anything. It's just pressure. And just because there is pressure, it doesn't mean you have to fold. You can sit in it. It's not uncomfortable, but it probably won't kill you. And just another thought, those people whose opinions you are spiraling about, they aren't necessarily intelligent people. Most of them are people with phones sitting on their toilet, taking a dump and reacting from their lizard brain, like the quickest reaction possible. They do not choose careful words, wondering if it's respectful or helpful. They just vomit out their opinion and don't think about you for a second after sending that message. Meanwhile, you are having a full nervous breakdown and want to stop your self-expression. So what did I do with that LinkedIn message? I read it again, I felt my chest tightening and said, stop it, Marty, no. And then I replied, that wasn't my responsibility, here is who to contact, done. I don't even work there anymore. That whole thing took 45 seconds, and some years ago it would have ruined my whole weekend. Now I could give you techniques all day, catch the recording, interrupt the spiral. Remember, nobody is thinking about you, and they work. They really do when you repeat them over and over and over again. But you know what actually made me stop caring? I found something to care more about. You don't stop caring about what other people think by becoming cold and stoic. You don't stop caring by deciding that nothing matters in this life. You stop caring about random opinions when you find something so much more important that their words are just annoying noise. For me, it's this channel, my work, my self-expression, everything that makes other people go, what is she doing? Who does she think she is? I didn't wake up one day and decide to stop caring. I woke up one day and realized that I can decide to care more about this than about their comfort. And look, I want to be direct with you for a second, because I know who watches these videos. You're not lazy, you're not stupid, you're someone with a big heart who has something to share, who actually could make our world a better place. And that is exactly why you are so afraid of being judged. And every time I see people like this choose to shrink and shame themselves, it breaks my heart. You think that shrinking will protect you from discomfort, but it won't. Quite the opposite. Your world will get smaller and smaller and smaller. If you keep conforming, you are going to be left with an entire personality that is not yours. And the worst part is you stop respecting yourself, because deep down, you know you folded. You know that you let the pressure win, and that feels worse than any criticism ever could. There is this idea that the opposite of depression isn't happiness, it's self-expression. So let me ask you, what would you do if their opinions couldn't reach you? What is the thing you'd finally start, build, create, say? And drop it in the comments. Just one word for yourself to make it eternal. Because that thing that you just wrote down, that you are afraid of what other people might think about it, that is your way out, not away from the caring, through it. You anchor that thing so deep into who you are, you know exactly why you are doing it, so that some random person's side-eye or a hate comment from a goblin doesn't bother you anymore. You become like the feathers of a duck. And we need you. I need you, the real you. So don't you dare let them win. Those people who want to pull you down back to their level, to a version of yourself that you have outgrown. Don't you dare let them win. Because every time you shrink, you are not just robbing yourself, you are also robbing those people who actually like the real you. Those people who would follow your ideas when you dare to make them public. And those people who like you small, the only version of you they have is a memory. You are not that person anymore. And now you might think, I'm just a nobody. What I think and do doesn't matter anyway. But every time you don't shrink, someone watching you gets the permission to stop shrinking too. Be that person where others say, who does she think she is? And you just smile and think, wow, it's working. So you can't just stop caring about what others think, but you can start caring about what matters to you. And they need to see you do it. So remember who the you are and go do it. And if you're still not convinced, because it is embarrassing and cringe to start something new, to be someone different, then I made a full video on that. If you are still here, I know you are someone who wants to stop making yourself small for people who don't even think about you. So subscribe, because this is what we are doing here every week, and I'll see you in the next video.